We're going to talk about some more principles of animation and vocabulary in animation. First of all, there's the whole concept of drawing very rough and loose. Now, this is called a gesture in figure drawing, and it's kind of the way we approach animation. To see a good idea of gesture, look at an animator named Glenn Keane. He worked on The Little Mermaid, on Beauty and the Beast, and you get a really good sense of what gesture looks like. It's not detailed drawing. This is very different than doing a photorealistic drawing where you spend 6 hours on getting it to look like a photograph. We're not trying to do that in these animation lessons. So we're going to draw very light and loose. We're going to draw very gestural. In other words, when you draw a circle, instead of just doing a perfect circle like this, we're going to make that circle light and loose like that, okay? Another thing to know is that all of the 12 principles that we will have links to every one of these principles. Now, everybody wants to do this. Everybody wants to learn animation, and everyone wants to be an artist. But the truth is, it takes a lot of hard work, and that's all it takes really is hard work. And so I would tell you, if you are not doing the assignments, if you are not looking at the links and going through all of them and studying them, don't be surprised at the end of the session if you didn't get to the place where you want to be, okay? At our school, what we do is we bring students in through this online course, and then the ones that I see that are really studying astute, then we bring them into the actual physical school studio that we have, and then we bring them, and then if they continue to work hard, then we bring them in the interns, and then we hire them right now. So we could hire anybody. I mean, if you show yourself and you want to work for the studio, then just really work really hard. Look at the links, learn them. Ask questions, send me questions. I will personally answer them and get back to you. And it's a great journey to begin on. It's a great way to learn. We're going to take you principle by principle. In other words, we're going to take you the first one, squash and stretch, and to the next one, timing and spacing and so forth, all the way through. But here's the thing. Let's talk about the bouncing ball. This is not a ball, but this is close enough to a ball. And it goes up, it goes down, up, down, up, down. Now that's live action. In animation, you're going to exaggerate things a little, but what happens is, as I threw this spider up, it goes up, and for a millisecond, before it reaches top, it hovers here and maybe spins before coming back down. And what you're learning in this test is you're learning about physics. You're learning of what's called the second law of thermodynamics. And what that means is that all energy winds down. Everything, the sun will soon in 7 billion years be gone, and all the earth will be destroyed because of that. And so, I know, sorry if that was a spoiler though. So the second law of thermodynamics says that the energy that it takes to push this spider up in the air is eventually going to fade, and gravity is going to have an effect and pull it back down. So I'm using the energy to break gravity, and then gravity is finally going to take, as the second law of thermodynamics connects with this spider, finally the inertia of it allows it to stop and allows gravity to pull. And then you get that. See? And you're learning so much. You're learning more than just squash and stretch. You're learning timing and spacing. You're learning exaggeration. So each one of the tests, to be honest, you'll be learning all of those things. So like on some of them, we learned follow through and secondary action. And you learned that in other things, in some previous tests. But we had to start at one place. So you'll be learning all of these things, and if you don't get it the first time around the session, you can take this test over and over again until you get it right, or you can take the class over and over again. It took me and my fellow students who are all over the world animating, took them years and years. Don't see this as a test. like the way you're used to learning in academic and in most schools. We have schools all over, and one of the places where I've taught and teaching is in India. And a lot of the schools that I've come in contact with have an unfortunate way of teaching where you just memorize things, and you just memorize them for the test, and they do that in the US as well. And it's not about actual learning, it's about memorizing for a test. So you don't even know what the facts mean, you just memorize the numbers. Maybe that works for being, I don't know, an accountant. I have no idea, honestly, how that would work in any situation, except in the real world. But let me tell you, in animation, that does not work. Memorizing facts will not do it for you. You have to digest them and understand them and analyze them and think about them. And that's the way you're going to learn. And it's a long process. It's a really long process. But know this, if you listen to me and if you follow along, you will only get better. And that's my mantra. That's what I tell my all students. If you listen to me, if you follow along and do the assignments and ask questions and look at the links and hear my corrections and fix the corrections, there is only one thing that will happen, and that is you will only get better. So here we begin our animation, and here we begin your journey of animation, and I look forward to teaching you, and I hope you look forward to learning.